Everything is different about the new third generation Fiat 500 EV, but much is also very much the same when it comes to this open-air convertible version with its fabric folding top. This model has always been a cute option for fresh air fashion seekers. Now, as the market's first full electric 4-seater cabrio, it offers a cleaner, different approach to budget-orientated open-air motoring.
So what's this new era 500 convertible like to drive? Well, you'll immediately be impressed with the lack of buffeting at speed, which is partly because, unlike with a full cabrio, the roof pillars always stay in place, maintaining body rigidity, and partly because of this neat air cap device on the top of the windscreen rail, which diverts air over the heads of front seat occupants. As with the fixed-top model, this Fiat's nippy enough away from rest thanks to its punchy 117 horsepower electric motor, though you don't get the rather pointless surge of thrust found with some rivals, which is all to the good because it makes urban progress smoother. The car always starts in its usual normal E-mode setting from the off, one of 3 modes you can select via this rocker switch between the seats. For frugal driving, you'll need to choose between the other 2, range, which maximises regenerative braking, and Sherpa, which restricts throttle and climate system use. And you'll certainly need to make good use of these 2 settings if you're to get anywhere close to replicating the 188-mile driving range figure possible from the 42 kilowatt-hour battery. That's 11 miles less than the fixed-top version. On the move, there's lots that owners of previous 500 models will recognise, like the high-ish seating position and the dinky manoeuvrability. There's a tight 9.6 metre turning circle. As with the old 500C, there's the advantage of being able to operate this car's fabric top at higher speeds than would be possible with a conventional cabrio, up to 37 miles an hour. On poorer surfaces, previous 500 owners might notice that this modern model replicates its predecessor's rather brittle low-speed ride quality, though it copes with poorer potholes and speed humps quite well, and anyway, things smooth out quite a lot when you get out of town. Where you might discover that this Fiat actually handles quite well, despite having to carry around 350 kilos more weight than the Mark II mild hybrid petrol model. All the weight of the mattress-shaped Samsung battery has been positioned well down, compensating for the extra bulk with a lower centre of gravity. Hence the well-controlled body roll at speed through the corners, though the effect is somewhat masked by the rather anaesthetised electric steering. DC rapid charging is standard, with full battery replenishment from an 85 kilowatt DC fast charger, if you can find one, taking just 35 minutes to 80%. A more normal 11 kilowatt AC Type 2 charger will need 4.25 hours to do the same thing, and it'll be 15.5 hours from a domestic socket. Who couldn't love a face like this? It's faithfully updated from the 50s and a 1958 Fiat 500N model that back then set a template for affordable open-top motoring. Rather than the complete top half of the car raising and folding back as it would on a conventional convertible, that early fabric top 500 model used a kind of giant sunroof in a sardine tin-like arrangement that saw the canvas top concertinaing backwards and forwards to suit the weather. Half a century on, in 2009, the same idea was reprised with the 500C, and again 11 years later with this all-electric 500 convertible. Either in a nod to the original or in a bid to save costs, both these modern models use exactly the same kind of idea pioneered by that early alfresco 500 original. Open-roofed, yet retaining the same B-pillars, door frames and rear side windows as the standard fixed-top hatch. Cute, isn't it? But very much recognisable to all as a 500, characteristic in proportion, in silhouette and in its distinctive central line alongside the 2 previous generation designs. This time round though, this car is a little wider, a little longer and a little more sophisticated. But it'll still be as at home in the back streets of Turin as the 50s original. As for the roof, well, it can be activated by the key fob, which is a feature missing from far more expensive cabrios we've tested. So you could be sitting, enjoying a cappuccino, watching your open-roofed 500 convertible across the street replenish itself at a charging point, and be ready to activate the roof in an instant should a shower of rain threaten. Unlike the 50s 500 model's canvas roof, this double-layered fabric top won't leak or flap about. It also features a proper glass window and is available in a choice of colours, so is fully personalisable. Or you can use these buttons next to the interior roof light, either when you're stationary like this or at speeds of up to 37 miles an hour. One press takes the roof automatically to the spoiler position, then you press the button again for at least half a second to fully open the roof. Now that we're inside, let's take a look around. Every 500 convertible model invites a high degree of personalisation via a myriad of colour and trim permutation options, but whatever you choose is sure to dovetail deliciously with a very well-judged blend of retro chic and clean contemporary design in the cabin, where familiar modern cues are mixed with a now more elegant and upmarket feel. You sit higher than you'd expect to in a small car of this sort and survey the usual 500 model body-coloured dashboard. This 10.25-inch Uconnect 5 centre screen supplies the required extra dose of sophistication, as does the 7-inch TFT instrument display. And there's a far more open and spacious feel than the previous model, partly because of the exterior dimensional increases, which particularly benefit head and shoulder space, and partly because of the empty space between the lower console and the dash, where a gear stick would normally be. That's been replaced by P, R, N and D buttons on the lower part of the fascia. Interior storage has been reconsidered, and here organised using various modular compartments, and the seats have been redesigned to be much more supportive on longer trips. Right, time to take a look out back. Now, you can't have everything in a car this short, but we'd hoped that this Mark III model's 22mm wheelbase increase might have liberated a bit more space in the rear. It's immediately obvious, though, as the front seat angles towards the dash, that this isn't the case. At launch, Fiat told us that all this car's interior spaces had been redesigned to give passengers the feeling of sitting on a romantic bench. Well, we don't think you'd feel in a particularly romantic mood if you were cooped up back here for very long. There's a rather upright backrest, and even kids will probably only be in any way comfortable if front seat occupants sacrifice a bit of legroom. Finally, let's take a look out back. The boot lid itself does, it's true, have a pretty small opening, but at least you can use it when the soft top's fully down, the electrics automatically lifting the retracted hood bundle a few centimetres upwards when the boot release is activated, so you can raise the luggage door properly. There's only 185 litres of space here, impressive, the same as the fixed top model, but less impressively, 75 litres less than you get with this model's only realistic direct rival, the Smart 4.2 Cabrio. Should you need more carriage capacity in this Fiat, the standard 50-50 split rear seat backs fold forward to increase the space available to 550 litres. And in summary, well, in one of these, even the most mundane of commutes can be turned into a journey you might actually look forward to making. Here's an open-topped city car that's very difficult to dislike. A carefree cabrio that's free, sunny and open in its outlook, with a sheer joie de vivre that's central to its charming appeal. Choosing a fashionable little runabout can often be a risk. Here, though, is one you can enjoy without a worry.